Hello, Santa Clara Unified Friends. This is Jody Muirhead from your school board. Nice to be talking with you today with my preview for the May 26th board meeting. I'm trying to keep my days straight. We're in the home stretch of the school year, and I'm really excited about that. I've got a bunch of graduations to go to in the next few days, and that's just most exciting part of the year. I think the beginning and the ends of the years with all the excitement and celebrations. But before that, we do have a board meeting. So I'm going to share my screen and talk to you about what's going on at this week's board meeting. So it is on, like I said, May 26th, Thursday. The meeting starts at 5 o'clock. And we'll be live streaming and having the Zoom webinar just like usual. So that's always available to you. Even after the fact, you can watch the live stream. We're starting at 5, but then we are going into closed session for a couple of hours. So there's a little bit up the front here, and then we'll go into closed session for a couple of hours and be back 7-ish, 7:30, just depends on how much time we need to spend on those closed session items. Then we will come back, and we are something kind of special here. We've got our reports from our student board reps, and also this will be the last board meeting that our board reps, our student reps, will be in attendance for this school year. So we've got a little ceremony thing to thank them for all of the work that they have done to be part of our school board this year. So I'm looking forward. Some of them I don't know that I've ever met in person. So I'm hoping that they can make it at this week's meeting so we can thank them in person for being part of our school board as representatives from their schools and telling us each board meeting. I mean, sometimes it's really fun to hear what's going on at their school sites. And so, you know, it's always fun to hear in their own voice what's going on. Okay, so we've got a little bit of extra time set aside to hear from our board reps so that we can thank them properly. And we'll have our union president speak. We'll have our regular COVID-19 update. Haven't heard that there's much other than numbers are a little bit higher the last few weeks, so that is not good. Please, everyone, stay safe. And then also under the information items at the beginning of the meeting here, we have our strategic plan annual board update. And this should be really interesting because the strategic plan talks about what we're, how we're implementing our Vision 2035. So this update is going to talk some about what we've done for the past year, and then what's going to be on tap. You know, what are our focus areas for next year? So what was in focus this year, and then looking ahead. So that'll be interesting to see. It will affect a lot of things around the district. So so that'll be a really good update. We've moved it up earlier in the meeting so that people who are presenting and the school communities can hear that. Then we have our public comments for unagendized and agendized. So if you want to speak up, that's a time that you can do it, especially if it's something that's not on the agenda. You do that under unagendized, either in person or on the Zoom webinar. So those are still options. We've been getting more people in person, so it's nice to see them all, but you can still do it by Zoom if you want. We have a whole bunch of consent items. Those are things that are kind of routine. Some of them are things to get ready for next year, contracts and stuff. Some of them are construction. There's all sorts of things in there in the consent. The first action item from the superintendent's office is calling for election. That's for our November election. So there are 4 board members. I am one of them who is up for election this year. Remember, we have 4-year terms. So every 4 years, we have to either run again or not run again, our choice. And 4 of them are up this year, 3 of them were up 2 years ago. This will be the first election for our districts. So if you want to look into this item, it gives the specifics of the details for our election, like each candidate can have a 200-word ballot statement, and the candidates pay for things. There's the resolution that says we're going to have an election. It'll be part of the regular November election that the county runs. And then also on here is our new trustee area map. So if you haven't looked at it recently or haven't looked at it at all, there it is. It shows the all the trustee areas, and the resolution says which areas are up. Actually, I think it says up here as well. So area 1, 3, 4, and 6 are up this November. So if you are in one of those areas, then you will get to vote for a trustee. If you're in one of the other areas, then you will get to vote for your trustee in 2 years, in 2024. Okay, so that's a big deal for those of us who have to run, and a big deal for our community, because we want to make sure that you want to elect people that represent you. So that's an important part of the process, is calling for the election. Then under human resources, I think the exciting ones here are, we are announcing the principal for Scott Lane and the principal for Don Callejon, and a director of data assessment and accountability. So if you are from Scott Lane or Callejon, you will hear who the new person is and some background information about them in this section. In our business action items, education protection account is kind of a routine thing. And then we've got this item about creating a joint powers authority to do government financial services work. And we had a presentation to introduce us to this idea. I think it was the last board meeting, might have been the one before, but I think it was the last one. And a joint powers authority is where a group of governmental agencies, like a bunch of school districts, but it could be other organizations as well, get together and do something like we're in a number of JPAs, like we're in one for our health benefits, our district health benefits. And that way there's a bunch of districts that all get together and we all get lower rates because there's more of us. So we have a similar one for special ed transportation, and there's a number of them that we are involved in. So this is another one for government financial services that's mostly managing our bond portfolio and getting when we want to purchase additional bonds for our bond measures. That's all government financial services. And we have a consultant that we've used for years and years and years, but and you may hear her name, Lori Ranieri is the head of that, and she's a Santa Clara Unified grad, which is really cool. But now she's had this business for a number of years and has given us great advice on our bonds. We've done really well with our bonds, and we always manage to not have to charge our community as much as we thought we might need to when we first passed the bond. So that's great news for all of our property tax payers. But she is going to be retiring soon, in the next few years. So she is pointing us towards this. So kind of her idea. And so this will be a good thing going forward. So we still have these services with people that we trust, and the rates will be a little bit lower. So that's always good. Okay, under discussion items, here's a really important one, are SPSAs, or our single plans for student achievement. So each school district, each school creates their own SPSA. It talks about how they are going to use their budgets at their school to provide services. And It includes the school goals, student achievement, and school climate data, improved activities, and budgets. And it's aligned with our district-wide LCAP. So it's, you know, it's matching up with what we are trying to accomplish as a district, but each school gets some budget for themselves and they have to decide how to do it. They work with their site council to decide, you know, the principal with the site council, which includes teachers, classified, and parents at the school. And they agree on their goals. So you can see each school has their own SPSA. You can look here for the SPSA from your school if you're interested in that. First time we have a McDonald SPSA. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Oh, there it is, McDonald SPSA, because that school doesn't even open until the fall. So it's been put together by the principal. And then I think in the fall, I think it says here that in the fall their first SPSA which will be reviewed by the full site council in the fall. So this is that's just proposed for McDonald, and then I think also Bracker, because their principal's out at the moment, so that one is also just sort of might not be here at all, and they'll do that in the fall, and that's perfectly fine. So these are the first looks at these. As a discussion item. They'll come back for approval at a future meeting in June. Okay, then we have a couple of items that board members request. One is about staffing ratios for I think, yeah, special ed. And one is about just a general discussion about hiring and human resources and some big picture ideas. We're just sort of going to be talking very generally, first discussion. If there's anything further that we want to talk about on these, then we will agendize those in the future. But this is sort of a first look at sort of board input on where we might want to go further in some of these items. Okay, and then under planning, so this is our first look at a resolution for next month being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, plus Pride Month. So that's in June. So there is a resolution that goes with that. So if you are interested, you can take a look at that resolution attached right here. And then at a previous meeting, I'm pretty sure it was the last one, they all kind of run together sometimes, we had a whole stack of policies come to us because we get quarterly updates on our policies from the state, California State School Boards Association. And for some reason they were coming to us, but they weren't actually getting to the board for approval. So we've got about over a year's worth, I think, of updates of policies. And these ones here that say CSBA updates, those are all things that they've the organization has provided to us. So they're mostly like legal changes, like the law has changed, and we've gotten updates. So so that's this section. And then I asked to pull out separately. There's then some that are local policies. So CSBA updates, there's a sheet that lists all of them. There's going to be a lot of them. And then the local policies, these are policies that we are changing specific to our district. So we've got just a few of those. Our civility policy we're updating. Actually, the state also has finally come up with a civility policy last year, and we've had one for a while. So we're sort of merging ours with theirs. So there are local changes that we came up with, plus the suggestions from the state organization that we use. So there's the civility. We've got a new fiscal reserve policy that our business services has come up with because we want to have a bit more structure to how we have our reserves, so that it's common knowledge and common language about the purpose of our reserves. And then we have our agenda meeting materials. So we have some updates, for the board about how we handle our board agenda. And then this one over here, I don't recall what this one is. It doesn't have a name on it, but it is there too. Board policy 7310. So all of these, you can just click on them and download them to see what our specific changes are. So if one of those interests you. So that is our agenda. That's it. I'm planning on adjourning the meeting in memory of those that were just lost at the school in Texas. So a very sad note, but I want to acknowledge that it happened. It's crushing when something like that happens, and there's just too many of them. But I will be adjourning the meeting in their memory. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me or any of the board members. You can reach me at jmuirhead@scosd.net, or you can find me on Facebook or on Twitter. I'm checking those regularly, so please reach out. If you have comments or questions, you can always also email the whole board during the meeting at, I think it's public-comments@scosd.net. Hope I got that right. Or you can call into the webinar, and all of the directions on how to email and call are on the website under our board meetings. And if you want to email any board member directly, the Board of Trustees also has a page on our website. So you can always go check that out. And as I mentioned, the meeting starts at 5 o'clock on Thursday. So I hope you will check it out. I know some of you watch it that night. Some of you wait until the next day or two. That's perfectly fine. Then you know what's going on, because Thursday nights we sometimes go late at our board meetings. And this one I think is not going to be a short meeting. So we will have the video available afterwards. So thank you all. We will see you around. It's only a few more days left of school. I hope you all enjoy these last few days. And we have 2 more meetings in June. So we are not done. So the 2nd and 4th Thursdays in June will be further board meetings. I know that's after school is out, but we keep going. I'm trying to make it so that we don't have a meeting in July. I don't know that that was going to happen. Sometimes things come up. And we have to have a meeting in July, but generally July, we have no meetings. So we'll see. And so if I don't see you around or talk to you, I'll be at a whole lot of graduations, but have a great summer and get some rest and relaxation. And then we will see you back for the start next year. Okay, take care, everyone.